everybody. I wanted to show you this beautiful harp guitar right here. And I'll have some other close-ups interspersed. This harp This harp guitar is a historic style instrument. It was actually made for me by my beautiful wife, Mary, in conjunction with a local luthier named Harp. He's unfortunately passed away, but she made it about maybe 15 years ago. And Mr. Taylor had received a grant from the Georgia Endowment for the Arts or something. I'll clarify that, but anyway, his grant was to find a student and teach them the traditions of luthier. So he actually had a grant for 3 instruments. So my wife learned how and worked with Mr. Taylor to make this instrument, this beautiful harp guitar, which she put my initials on. See where it says DL there? And then she also made a mandolin, and she made an old style, was it Yardanger violin? And I'll show some pictures of those. But this is a harp guitar. Went a little out on me there, didn't it? And you know, it's a kind of a 19th century instrument. You start to see these in old black and white photographs around the time of the American Civil War. And I don't know exactly the history of them. It's kind of murky, actually, but you do see them in old photos. And Gibson had one of the most famous ones. Gibson, I'd like to get my hands on one of those Gibson harp guitars. I bet they're worth a pretty penny. But you really don't see them too much after World War I. But as you might see, it's kind of, it's basically got 2 guitars on here. It's got a regular guitar. Right here, this part with the neck is a regular guitar, and then it's got this part, which is just a harp guitar. And you know, there are a lot of harp guitar sites. There's a harp guitar gathering I've always wanted to go to, actually. But it's interesting when this thing just sounds like a beast. It's a beast to play too. I have more fun when I quit worrying about trying to be perfect on this thing and just start wanging on it. But I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day, I saw 3 ships come sailing in But when I first got it, you know, there aren't a lot of manuals for harp guitar. And frankly, with this up here, like this, it's kind of intuitive. I think everybody has to kind of figure out what to do with it yourself. This part, the harp part of the harp guitar. And one of the things that I decided, I read actually, is these strings are just supposed to kind of resonate when you play. But who wants to do that? You've got these strings up here. Boy, I really made it go out. There we go. So, who wants to just kind of let them resonate? You know, so what? There are different ways. I haven't read too many. I'm sure everybody that has one of these, which they don't seem all that common to me, but you do see them. You know, I'm sure you'll find people on YouTube playing them. But I decided to tune it in DADGAD because obviously you can't play with these strings up here. There's no neck. So you just got open strings. You can't really, you know, you can't finger them or fret them or play different chords on them. So I decided to tune it in DADGAD, and I've never tried to play it in another key. I was thinking the other night you might be able to do it in open G, and I don't like to mess with other open tunings too much because, and if I do something with open tuning much, I usually have another guitar that's kind of designated. But the open tuning I use open G sometimes. That song I have called Woman of the Country, I used to play that in open G. And then that Truck Stop Blues, I play that in open G too. But DADGAD is the alternate tuning I've used the most. And I just tuned this in DADGAD. And a couple things, I've got 2 bass strings up here, and that just gives it a huge sound. So that's a double D. Not that kind of double D. That's a double D right there. And I like playing it in DADGAD because I can just pick and just hit up here, and whatever I do is it's going to kind of ring in. Of course, then I can only play pretty much in D type chords, I guess. I don't know. That whenever I play in DADGAD, I'm always either playing in some kind of D modal, major, minor, but usually kind of a D modal. In heaven shall sing. Christmas Day. Song I interspersed a little bit there is I Saw 3 Ships Come Sailing In. It's an old English Christmas carol, and the time I've used this the most, I break it out sometimes around Christmas and do some of those really old kind of modal sounding Christmas carols, and that one seems to work well because you just really bang it out, you know. But anyway, it's a beautiful guitar. It's handmade by my wife and Mr. Taylor, R.I.P., was an elderly gentleman, but he finally passed away just recently, actually. But this is very nice, and you know, Mr. Taylor was a local luthier, and he was very good. I sometimes would like to take this to someone and maybe have them tweak it a little bit. Because I think, but it is really nice, and the sound you get is just a beast. So I usually try to play something that's sloppy and big, you know. Because I figure, you know, you can't really, you know, I don't imagine playing any Vivaldi or, you know, anything like that on here too much. Maybe some people do, but we've got these open strings. Play something where you can just hit up there, and I find DADGAD works the best. And these aren't these aren't exactly DADGAD. I think it's D D D, and then this is also a D, but that's only because I put a G string on there, and that's a G string, so it's like a. But when I started, I don't know if it's the way the neck is set up. But when I tried to tune it up to a G, which is the natural string, that's a 22 acoustic guitar G string, it really started to get tight. And I thought, is that, maybe I'm not familiar with the neck, maybe that the neck's not really just like a regular guitar. And it started just like, almost like you were worried you were gonna snap something, the string, hopefully, and not anything more serious, or pop the bridge or something. So I just left that in D. And then A, D. Listen to that big sound. And sometimes I just get a little dramatic. That's what, you know, the old John River song, right? I play it like that. It's got sound for days. And I wouldn't, like I said, sometimes I'd like to take it to a luthier and have them look at it a little bit, but I wouldn't ever want to mess, you know, it is what it is. It plays great in DADGAD. Once in a while, this bass string will pop out on me. And it's a little fussy tuning. But I'll tell you, with this thing, you've just got a huge sound. I used to finger pick it, actually. I finger picked more at the time when I first got this. But just in kind of revisiting it, I decided a flat pick, you can really just bang on it. I think a lot of people do finger pick, but I find a flat pick, you can really strum pick. Yeah, it really liberates you to open up this that wood and just get it to ring, you know. But anyway, it really sounds great. And one other thing is, it's technically mine, but it's of course a family heirloom. My wife made it, and she's very, it's very precious to her, rightly so. And so we keep it in a big old cello case, and I don't get it out enough. And I'm going to start playing it more, I think, especially as the holidays come along. So I just wanted to share this with you. It's really beautiful. Thanks. Take care. God bless.